going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, this is going to be kind of a controversial video. I'm sure there's going to be some people, who I'm going to, butt hurt and offend here. All right. But we're not going to beat around the bush. We're getting right into it. Are hammerfire guns obsolete in today's world? So what I mean, all right, is simply, do hammerfire guns still have a use, considering, well, what are we rocking with at least for our pistols now? Striker fire mainly. Polymer frame striker fire pistols are mainly what we're rocking for our EDC. All right, and that's just the truth of the matter here. Now, with that being the case, does that mean that hammerfire guns are obsolete? No. And I'm going to explain why. So, let's ignore the fact that, our military used the 1911 in 2 world wars. Let's ignore the fact that the Beretta M9 was used by our military as well out in Iraq and all those other Middle Eastern countries. Shit, you could name like 5 of them and they'll fucking probably have all been there. However, all right, the truth of the matter is, regardless of those, hammerfire guns are never going to be obsolete. And that's just the plain and simple truth here. All right, let's ignore how cool some of them look. Let's ignore, how nice some of them look. Because let's be honest here, 1911s, they look, those are some sexy guns. You feel me? Those are some good-looking guns. Same goes with the Beretta M9 variants. All some good-looking guns. So let's ignore the look of them, all right? Because while that itself, I'm going to be honest, that itself in the gun world is enough to keep it around. Let's be 100% honest here. In the gun world, just looking cool enough is enough for for some things to stay relevant and not be obsolete. We all know that's the truth of the matter here. So ignoring the looks, let's talk about functionality. All right, hammer-fired firearms have been around for a lot longer than striker-fired guns. All right, with that being the case, there's a lot more years of testing done on them. There's a lot more time for changes in reliability issues, fixes, if you will. So I'll be honest with you, there's a pretty good chance that a lot of hammerfire guns are going to be just as reliable, if not maybe even a tad bit more reliable than your standard striker fire pistol. Now, it's perfectly fine. That's not to say striker fire pistols are not reliable, because that would just be a plain and utter lie. Why would I carry striker fire pistols if I'm not, if I think they're not reliable? That makes no sense. Now, what I will say is there are exceptions in today's day and age, to the striker fire EDC rule. Not even rule, but just what's common nowadays. And that is with some of the Ruger LCPs. For example, my Ruger LCP, hammer action, the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, hammer action. You know what I mean? So or the hammer action, hammer fire, sorry. Long night. My LCP, hammer fire. The Bodyguard, hammer fire. You know what I mean? So there are exceptions that are still hammer fired. However, they've been more equipped and more modernized for today's world. Now, the reason why they had to do that is because a majority of hammer fire guns just tend to be a bit heavier. That's just the truth of the matter here. Why is that? Because it's, honestly, it's older technology. That's just the truth of the matter here. It is a older technological style than a striker fire. All right, that's just how it works. However, just because it's older will not mean it's obsolete by any standard. All right, now let's go back to the heaviness for a minute. 1911s, decently heavy guns when it comes to concealed carry. All right, now I'm sure there's some of y'all fuds out there that are like, oh, please, I EDC my 1911 every day. I EDC my Kimber. But let's not get into it. All right, let's not get into this argument because a lot of y'all are going to lose. All right, truth of the matter is that the majority of 1911s are heavier than your average EDC gun would be. All right, and that's perfectly fine. However, there are other hammerfire weapons that are extremely light. That was the purpose of their design, is to have the reliability of hammerfire yet also being light. All right, so just in the standpoint of EDC, are hammerfire guns obsolete? No, not by any standard. Now, a bigger and, honestly, a more important point that I'd like to get at, regardless of what you run with your pistol, striker fire, hammerfire, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all in that case. You know why? Because the truth of the matter is, let's say all handguns in the world, all of them, let's say they all were striker fired. There was no such thing as a hammer fire pistol. All right. Hammer fire guns still wouldn't be obsolete. Why is that? Because how do y'all think rifles work? How do y'all think a majority of rifles like the AR-15, the AK-47, how do you think they work? Do you think they have a striker? No, they're hammer fired guns. All right. That's the truth of the matter here. So whether you like it or not, hammer fire guns are here to stay. All right. There is no, getting around that. There is no, oh well, I'll just stick to striker fire. What are you gonna get? What are you gonna get? Tell me. What are you gonna get other than just some handguns? What are you going to get? Right. A majority of firearms all throughout history, even in today's day and age, if we're including rifles, shotguns, all of this, a majority of them are hammer fired. And that's just how it works. So the truth of the matter is while you may sit here and when you think of hammer fire guns, you're thinking of 1911s, Beretta M9s, some SIG P229s, P226s, whatever, right? The truth of the matter is all of those could have never been created and hammer fire guns still would not be obsolete. And that's just a simple matter of fact here. All right. The most popular rifle in our country is the AR-15, which is a hammer fired gun. All right. Honestly, my AR is over there on the couch. If I didn't have to sit there and stop the video to go grab it, I would go grab it to prove my point. All right. However, anybody who can disassemble the upper and lower of their AR can tell you that it is a hammer fired gun. All right. So with that being said, the long and short answer to the question, all right, is no. They will never become obsolete in a realistic sense. All right. Why? Because let's take the pistols, for example. On top of being iconic and looking as nice as they look, all right, they were used by our military. No matter what, there's always a class of people that are like, oh, yep, the military used it. I want it. And that's just how it works. All right. That's just how it is with supply and demand when it comes to something like guns. All right. There are collectors. So no matter what, they will not truly become obsolete. Obsolete means they have absolutely zero use in today's day and age, which would never be the 100% truthful case here. All right. Now, beyond just the handguns, all right, because, I haven't even touched on the topic of revolvers, things like that. Let's move on back there for a second to no yet again, because of the fact that you will not be able to get every single hammer-fired rifle out of the hands of everybody else. Hammer-fired guns are never going to become obsolete. It's not something that's going to happen, all right? People sit here and they think hammer-fired guns, they're thinking of some really old school shit. They're thinking of, oh yeah, well, this is like, 1911s, revolvers. That most people, when they hear hammer-fired guns, that is what they think. But the truth of the matter is, you also need to include things like the AR-15, the AK-47, also on that list, because those are also hammer-fired. So just because of that, the most produced gun in the world, the AK-47, being hammer-fired guns will never go obsolete. The most popular rifle in our country, being hammer-fired is most likely never going to be obsolete, ever. And that's just the truth of the matter here. Now, some people may not like it. Some people may like it. Some people, you may be like me. You personally don't give a shit if they go obsolete or not. It's not that big of a deal. All right? Hammer-fired guns are dope. Striker-fired guns are dope. Guns are dope. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? But I think that about wraps it up for this video. As I said before, the answer to the question, will hammer-fired guns be obsolete or are they obsolete in today's day and age, in today's world? No, they probably will never be obsolete either, considering that's how a majority of our firearms operate is through a hammer-fire system. So with that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And because you agree with me, now, hammer-fire guns, more likely than not, will never become obsolete. Y'all go ahead and make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.